Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Haribo, Prabhuji.
Can you hear me
Yeah,
clearly?
everything's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jai Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya
Jaya
Gauranitai.
Gauranitai, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Guru.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Yo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajakacharya Stota Sata Srimadesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajakacharya Stota Sata Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपा गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय इस्कॉन वर्तमान वृंद की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन all glories to devotees, all glories to Sri Govind, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, ma'am, you can still hear my voice. It's hard to explain.
You know, now that I changed the sound setting, Prabhu, I don't know if I can change it back. Sorry. I'm so
because
sorry.
when I'm speaking, I could hear the echo when I'm
Is it you can you give I don't know what I'm doing, Prabhu. I was asked to change the function. I changed it. I'm not an IT person. I don't know how to change it back. Sorry.
Okay, let me try now. Still the same.
The reason I changed it was because every time everybody uses car towels or a drum or anything, it completely blows out the microphones. So I was told to go into settings and change the settings to live musicians. So I did that this morning, and now I don't know how to go back and unchange it. Sorry, Prabhu.
So you can hear my voice clearly.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay. So because I just feel that I'm speaking double, like two people speaking at the same time.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, we can
I'll try
only
my
hear
best.
you one voice we're hearing.
Okay, that's good.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Okay, no problem, Srimad. All good. I'll try my best to see how I go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayana Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Cheva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayam Mudirayet
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Apatreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Hare Krishna. So today we're reading. Okay, let me just use this. Okay, today we are reciting from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, chapter number 2, and verse number 16. Again, repeat after me. Natvam tyajami dayitam vijadeva dattam.
Natvam tayajamidayitam dvijadevedatam.
Natvam tyajami dayitam vijadeva dattam.
Natvam tayajamidayatam dvijadevedatam.
Yasmin manodrigapi no naviyati lagnam.
Yasmin manodrigapino navayati lagnam.
Mam charu sringi arhasi netum anuvratam te.
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 Chittam yada patisarantu sivaha sachivyaha.
Chittam yata pratisarantu siva sachivayaha.
Natvam tyajami dayitam vijadeva dattam.
Natvam tyajami dayatam dvijadeva dattam.
Yasmin manodrigapi no naviyati lagnam.
Yasmin manodrigapino naviyati lagnam.
Mam charu sringarhasi netum anuvratam te.
Mam charu sringarhasi netum anuvratam te.
Chittam yata pratisarantu sivaha sachivyaha.
Chittam yata pratisarantu siva sachivayaha.
Natvam tyajami dayitam vijadeva dattam.
Natvam
Natvam
dayatam
dvijadevadattam.
dvijadeva.
Yasmin manodrigapi no naviyati lagnam.
Yasmin manodrigapino naviyati lagnam.
Mam charu sringi arhasi netum anuvratam te.
Mam charu shringi arhasi netum anuvratam te.
Ittam yata patisarantu sivasachivyaha.
Chitam yata parisarantu siva sajivya.
Anyone would like to say?
Na tvam tyajami dayatam dvijatavadatam.
Na tvam tyajami dahitam vijadeva dattam.
Yasmin manorig apino vaviyati lagnam.
Yasmin manodrigapino na viyati lagnam.
Mam charu shringe arhasi netum anupratam te.
Mam charu sringi arhasi netum anuvratam te.
Chitam yatapati sharantu shivaha sachivaya.
Chittam yata patisarantu siva
Siva
sachivyaha.
sajivya.
Natvam
Na tvam
yajam daitam vijayavadatam
na tvam tyajami dahitam vijadeva dattam.
yasmin manopino naviyadilakam
Yasmin manodrigapino na viyati lagnam.
mam charasindhyarasune manoratam te
Mam charu sringi arhasi netum anuvratam te.
Chitam yata praticharantu Shivasachivya
Chittam yata patisarantu siva sachivyaha.
Yeah, Mataji, please.
Sorry, I don't know how to change it.
Na tvam tyajami dahitam vijadeva dattam.
Nva tvam tyajami dahitam vijadeva dattam.
Yasmin manodragapino na viyati lagnam.
Yasmin manodrigapino na viyati lagnam.
Mam charushri arhasi netum anuvratam te.
Mam charu sringi arhasi netum anuvratam te.
Chittam yata pratisarantu Shiva Sachivyaha.
Chittam yata patisarantu siva sachivyaha. Else would like to say? Okay. We'll go with word-to-word meanings. Na,
Na,
not,
not.
tvam,
Tvam,
you,
you.
tyajami,
Tyajami,
I shall give up.
I shall give up.
Daitam,
Daitam,
very dear.
very dear.
Vijadeva,
Vijadeva,
by Lord Brahma,
by Lord Brahma,
the demigod worshipped by the Brahmanas.
The
demigod worshipped by the Brahmanas.
Dattam,
Dattam,
given.
given.
Yasmin,
Yasmin,
unto whom.
unto whom.
Mana,
Mana,
mind.
mind.
Drik,
Drik,
eyes.
eyes.
Api,
Api,
also. Na, mind.
mind.
Na viyati,
Naviyati,
do not go away.
do not go away.
Lagnam,
Lagnam,
tightly attached.
tightly attached.
Mam,
Mam,
me,
me.
Charu Shringi,
Charu Sringi,
O women with beautiful raised breasts.
O woman with beautiful raised breasts.
Arhasi,
Arhasi,
you ought.
you ought.
Netum,
Netum,
to lead.
to lead.
Anuvratam,
Anuvratam.
follower,
Follower.
te,
Te.
your,
Your.
chittam,
Chittam.
desire,
Desire.
yataha,
Yataha.
wherever,
Wherever.
pratisarantu,
Pratisarantu.
may follow,
May follow.
sivaha,
Sivaha.
favorable,
Favorable.
sachivyaha,
Sachivyaha.
friends.
Friends.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Lord Brahma,
Lord Brahma,
who is worshipped by the Brahmanas,
who is
who is
worshipped by
worshipped
the
by the
Brahmanas,
Brahmanas,
has very mercifully
has
very
very
mercifully
given you to me.
given you
given
to
you to
me.
me,
And that is why
And that is why
I have met you.
I
I
have
have
met
met
you.
you.
I do not want to
I do
I do
not
not
want
want
to
to
give up your company.
give up
give
your
up your
company.
company.
For my mind
For
For
my
my
mind
mind
and eyes are
and
and
eyes
eyes
are
are
fixed upon you
fixed
fixed
upon
upon
you
you
and cannot be drawn away.
and
and
cannot be
cannot be
drawn
drawn
away.
away.
O woman with beautiful raised breast,
O
Woman
woman
of
with
beautiful
beautiful raised
breasts,
breasts,
I am your follower.
I am
I
your
am your
follower.
follower.
You may take me wherever you like,
You
You
may
may
take me
wherever you
wherever you
like,
like,
and your friends may also follow me.
and your
and your
friends may
friends
also
may
follow
also
me.
follow me.
Perfect. Now, Agnidra frankly admits his weakness. He was attracted to Purvachitti, and therefore, before he could say, Hare Krishna, can you still hear me? Hare Krishna Mother, can you still hear me?
Yeah. I'm sorry. My perspective is everything is clear. There's no echo.
Oh.
Your sound is perfect. So
Oh.
whatever you guys are hearing, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to stop that.
No, that's fine. Because there was a cutoff in between. So I'm just trying to confirm. All right, so I'll go from the beginning. Now, Agnidra frankly admits his weakness. He was attracted to Purvachitti, and therefore, before she could say, I have no business with you, he expressed his desire to be united with her. He was so attracted that he was ready to go anywhere, hell or heaven, in her company. When one is absorbed in lust and the influence of sex, one surrenders to the feet of a woman without reservation. Srila Madhvacharya remarks in this connection that when one engages in joking and talking like a crazy person, one may say anything and everything, but his words will be meaningless. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, everyone. A very warm welcome to the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class this morning. And before I start my class, I would like to take the blessings of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and my Guru Maharaj, and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled on this call so that I can use the right words with the right intention to glorify these words. And in this process, I wanted to purify my own consciousness. And in case if I use any appropriate words, it is purely because of my ignorance, and I seek apologies. Hare Krishna. So just reciting the words once again. Na tvam tyajami dayitam vijadeva dattam yasmin manodrigapi no na viyati lagnam Mam charu sringi arhase netum anuvratante chittam yata pratisarantu siva sachivyaha. Okay, so basically the context here is in this section, Purvachiti, the celestial Apsara sent by Lord Brahma, appears before Maharaj Agnidra. And her beauty, movements, speech, and charming behavior attract the king, who had been, performing austerity with the desire for a suitable wife and progeny. So this is a very different section which we read, and sometimes we wanted to zip it out because there is an elaborate description of the illusory beauty of the female gender, and sometimes the mind may not be able to easily handle the descriptions. And once a devotee who is just aspiring devotee, who has not yet started like Krishna consciousness, he was attending a class from His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj, and he was asking a question like, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a holy book, but why does it actually mention about the sexual aspects in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? And Maharaj very profoundly said, we read, and it is actually mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and we read it so that we don't get entangled in it, right? Such a like profound statement. It's a very simple statement, but it's like very profound because we have such kind of statements so that we don't really entangle. But people in outside world are entangled and absorbed in it completely because they're obviously not reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And as we know, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is Amala Puran. And the only goal in this is to develop Krishna Prema. And there is no other goal. So even giving up the material existence is one of the esteemed goals of attaining Krishna Prema. It is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajeshu Tanyasta Dhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kaschid Upasana Vrajavadu Varga Virya Kalpita Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Amala Puranam Prema Pumarto Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabho Matam Idam Tatra Dahana Paraha. So Mahaprabhu's opinion is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam has Prema Pumarto Mahan as the goal, which means, so if you wish to attain or revive our original loving relationship with the Lord, one has to do the homework. And what is the homework? The homework of cleaning our chitta of all the impurities. And it is one of the very vital and strong impurity in the heart, and it is called lust. So it is very important for us to take the shelter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as it helps us to clean all the impurities in our heart. Here we see Maharaj Agnidra is doing tapasya and wants Brahmaji to benedict him with a good wife for a good progeny so that he can go to Pitraloka. And he also tells Purvachiti that Lord Brahma has sent her as his good wife. But today, in the modern generation, they don't have any plans like, wife and stuff. They may see a beautiful girl and they just wanted to have some sense enjoyment in the adharmic layer. So the desires to enjoy is nothing wrong, right? The desires are there in the living entity to enjoy, and that's why obviously they're in the material world, right? But if it is done within the dharma, then it has its own purification program, and that's why we call it as a vivaha samskar. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam elevates us above the idea of enjoying in this material world like a karma kandi. So, which is obviously one of the main reasons that we have to take the shelter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And here, King Agnidra is entangled in this kind of ideas because it is mentioned by one of the acharyas, Goswami Giridhara. He is one of the commentators of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And in the same canto, which is canto 5, chapter number 2 and verse number 2, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that even though Prevata Maharaj is a completely pure devotee of the Lord, but at the time when Agnidra was conceived, there was a tinge of lusty desire. And that has brought such a person with such feelings and consciousness in the womb of the mother. So, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is an Amala Puran, and we should always know that all the discussions we do even about Anartha Nivriti, is with the goal of attaining Krishna Prema. And here, if you see in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that Agnidra is frankly sharing his weakness, saying, you can take me wherever you want, right? So we know the living entity originally has Krishna Prema. And when the love of Godhead is actually pervertedly reflected in the material world, it is transformed in the form of lust. So it is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 4.165. It says, Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tara Balikama Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Prema Nama. So the translation it says is, the desire to gratify one's own senses is kama, which is nothing but lust. But the desire to please the senses of the Lord Krishna is prema, which is love. So when the living entity wants to serve the Lord, he enjoys. And enjoyment is not wrong, because anando abhyasa, because it is the natural propensity of the soul, and Krishna is rasovaisa, who is full of rasas. And if we enjoy, both the living entity enjoys and the Lord also enjoys the rasa, right? So the relation between Purusha and Prakriti is the desire to serve Krishna. And the desire to enjoy separately from Krishna is the perverted Purusha Bhav. And the only Purusha Bhav someone can have is if he is a Purusha. But we know Krishna is the only Purusha. And nowadays, we see so many females, they dress up like men, but they still are females, we know, right? They may keep their hair short and the dress code of a man they wanted to maintain, but that does not make them as a man. This is on the bodily platform, but on the soul platform, we're all Prakriti, and we are all to be enjoyed by the Supreme Purusha, Krishna, who can really enjoy because he has the transcendental senses. And he has nothing to do with gross body or subtle body, as all these contaminations and coverings on the soul. So the living entity, when he comes into this world, that love has been transformed into lust. And the same spiritual energy with which he can render unlimited devotional service to the Lord because of the attraction he feels for Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan is the attracted Supreme Madan, who attracts the entire creation, irrespective of the male or female, right? And he attracts everyone. So when Krishna is doing his hide and seek, Leela with his devotee Gopas, he was hidden, but we know he cannot be hidden. You know why? Because whenever he hides, all the birds and all the squirrels, everyone goes there only. So all the Gopas will come to know that must be Krishna only. And actually, he wants to hide, but how can he hide? Because he is so attractive. And when the gopis are praying in separation from Krishna, they are saying that all the deers and all the she deers, all the rabbits, squirrels, they are ready to take the association, and they take the association, especially when Krishna is going to the forest. But the only species who cannot take the association is the gopis. And their attraction to Krishna is based on the pure love, and the perverted understanding is there in this material world. So Acharyas share that the living entity and the Lord are actually made for each other, and it is actually uh, it is given as an example that, or compared, that a gold ring and the blue diamond. So the gold ring is the Jiva and the blue diamond is the Supreme Lord. The Lord is like the blue diamond, and the blue diamond decorates the gold ring to make it even more beautiful to look at. And the gold ring becomes the proper place to place the blue diamond. So you just don't place the blue diamond on a table. So the Lord is the ornament of the ornaments. As we know, he is the Bhushana Bhushanangam. So he is the ornament for the Jivas. So when Jiva looks to serve the Lord, he starts looking more beautiful. And when Jivas, the pure devotees of the Lord, are around the Lord also becomes more glorified, right? So Krishna spoke only 700 slokas in Bhagavad Gita. But in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we have 18,000 slokas because the devotees have actually taken over the dice to glorify the Lord. So devotees said, you're not glorifying it properly, we will do the needful. And when Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam came out, we have 18,000 slokas. And and because they know how to glorify Krishna to the full extent. Just like a person who has certain qualities and he cannot understand them. But when you are serving such person, you're also relishing the wonderful qualities that he has, but he may not know of those qualities, right? So the Lord, who is the full of the wonderful qualities, is called as the Samasta Gunadam. And the living entities or the jivas are getting the joy of serving them. So sometimes people wanted to enjoy, and they say why God actually wants to enjoy when we wanted to enjoy the maximum. But we all know that Krishna has already made the arrangement, because he gives us the maximum enjoyment in serving than actually receiving the service. Because he is the ultimate enjoyer, he feels that he went in loss, and then he comes in the form of Mahaprabhu to enjoy the Prakriti Bhav. Because the qualities that Krishna has are so beautiful, all the living entities, while serving him, they relish those qualities. And the joy of service to the most beautiful object of the pleasure actually lies with the Jivas. But the Supreme Lord is not able to enjoy it, because he is the supreme entity or the most beautiful person, and he comes in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the gold ring is beautified by the blue diamond. But when it comes to this material world, the jiva, as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Mamaivam sa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manashastani indriyani prakritistani karshati. Where it says, the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. So due to the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind, as mentioned by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So the same Amsha of the Lord, who is beautiful to look at, and when he serves the Lord, for example, like Hanumanji, he wants to serve the Lord. Dashrath Maharaj wants to serve the Lord. Lakshman, he wants to serve the Lord. Kaushalya wants to serve the Lord. And there are so many devotees who actually want to serve the Lord, and they look so beautiful. But Kaikeyi, who was also beautiful, but when she said, Lord, you go to Vanavas, then she was not looking beautiful anymore. So the living entity's beauty lies in serving the Lord. And it is, we can actually see that when for example, to myself, when I see all these exalted Vaishnavas, like the traveling preachers we have, His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu or Chaitanya Charan Prabhu or Gauranga Prabhu, any of them, all the exalted personalities, including all the Maharajas, even to the fact Srila Prabhupada was having that kind of effulgence because he's a pure devotee of the Lord who is serving Supreme Lord with his whole heart and soul. So that's how they actually look more beautiful when they serve the Supreme Lord. But Jiva, when he comes to this material world, he forgets that he is covered by the three modes. The same pure soul who is part and parcel of the Lord is so embarrassed and so much humiliated because he gets attracted to the dirty body, which is made of the bile, stool, mucus, air, urine, saliva, and nothing is beautiful about this body, as Srila Prabhupada calls it as a bag of stool. So let's imagine, instead of the skin layer, which Brahmaji has a powerful packaging on the top of the body, if he has actually put a transparent polythene bag, I don't think anyone would have actually been, attracted. So it is just the packaging which is actually making it look more attractive. One time, one of the devotee was asking the same to Srila Prabhupada as well about this packaging. And then Srila Prabhupada said the same, that this is the Brahmaji's packaging technology. And then the devotee said, because he was actually getting attracted, he said that he packed things very nicely because he was feeling attracted to opposite sex or others, and he feels like there's so much illusion which comes over to us. So even if you see the magicians, they don't reveal their trick. Why? Because if you reveal the trick, then no one will enjoy the magic. But Maya Devi has boldly revealed the trick, also saying that this is what I'm packing, right? These are the three modes which will bewilder you. Even after like everything has been disclosed, but still the jiva gets trapped. So the Maya's trick is more powerful than even the magicians. So one gets humiliated to the core. Because the jiva who is supposed to get attracted to the most beautiful form of the Lord is getting attracted to the most contaminated items of this world. So the soul is actually beautiful, but the soul's body, which is getting into this material world, creates that embarrassment to the soul. And the body cannot give any enjoyment to ourselves also. For example, if I'm wearing jacket because I'm actually feeling cold, I'm having some issues since last 2 days with my cold and cough. Even my own body cannot give any happiness to my own self. So what to talk about someone else who wants to enjoy the body of another person? That's how the jivas are actually entrapped with this three modes of material nature, and they're completely conditioned. So the body also looks beautiful because Krishna, who is the part and parcel, who is sitting in this body as Paramatma. Otherwise, obviously the body will not look attractive. Once the Paramatma leaves, the soul leaves, and obviously the body is no more attractive, and there is nothing attracts the body as well. Even Miss Universe body will be put into the fire or buried under the ground as per whatever the custom of the family, or even the custom of the place could be as well. Even there are certain cultures where the body is actually put to the vultures. So all these glorious cosmetics and all the powerful or this expensive cosmetics which are used to decorate the body will become stool of the vulture once they eat that body. And as we know, the Vedic Sanatan Dharma traditions burn the body so that it becomes ashes. That is the end result of the body, and whatever one goes through. And also, when a person dies, even the most intimate person, like the wife, also does not like to keep the body more than one day also. And they wanted to immediately take out the body as it is no more touchable also. So the body is also that much attractive to the extent the soul is inside the body. If there is no soul, then obviously even the body is also not looking any more attractive. We all know this, but after knowing all this, we still have the attraction because Maya is so strong. When I was preparing some note for this class, I came across a small snippet from His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, where he was saying that the soul being infinitesimal part and parcel of Krishna, but he is so attractive that all the attractive items of the world, all the beauty of the world is nowhere compared to one soul's attractive potency, isn't it? So that is Jiva. Jiva is also so powerful because he is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So we can see when Srila Prabhupada went to the West, he went to the hippie land, and hippies are just craving for pleasure because that is their ultimate goal. They just wanted to do whatever it takes to enjoy the life. But Srila Prabhupada, he attracted their hearts out of all the mess of this world. And his attraction was so strong that even whether they are hippies or not, they all just wanted to serve. All across the world, he had tens and thousands of disciples. Even though when he was very old, um, they were all these the white people, they were looking very tall, and Prabhupada was looking short. So on a bodily level, if we are talking or speaking, he had the strong Bengali English, but the soul inside is so attractive because his soul is so lover of peace, and the soul can show its full beauty only when he is looking for Krishna. And we all understand this, right? We all understand all this logic, but when it fails, we can't understand logically, and we are put under humiliation. So it's the same jiva who can be the spiritual hero. He tries to become a hero of this material world, and he wants to impress the world. He wants to impress the opposite sex like Agnidra is trying to do, and he becomes enslaved by the Maya instead. When we think of this, we have a very classic example of Vishwamitra as well. We know of the pastimes of Vishwamitra Muni, who wants to get Brahma Tejas, and he was doing tapasya. And Indra, who was like very uncomfortable with his tapasya, because he thought that he might get into some trouble and his position might be taken away by Vishwamitra. He tries to distract Vishwamitra in maximum ways. So first he sends Menaka, and then Vishwamitra falls for lust, and then later he sends Ramba. Then he falls prey to the anger, kama krodha vijayate. And third, Trishanku wants to have Swarga entry. So he gets into ego issue that even Vashishta could not do it, so I will do it. So all this lust, anger, and pride captured him. We do hear about Yayati, we do hear about the Saubramuni, and so many other devotees who actually get trapped in this lust. So we can understand that the lust is very powerful source. And in the Vedic times, there were Vishakanyas. All of us heard of many stories or might have watched many serials when we were childhood as well. In the Vedic times, there were like Vishakanyas. So these Vishakanyas are those, they're actually fed poison. They're fed like little poison during their childhood. And when they grow up, they are full of poison, but they do not die out of their own poison, which is very strange, isn't it? And they look very beautiful to look as well. So even the big kings who can conquer the world, they get captured by the lusty desire to enjoy the women. So the enemies use these Vishakanyas to conquer the kingdom. They use these Vishakanyas as the tool so that they can put the king into a trap and they can take away the kingdom also. So sometimes these kings will be warned by the ministers by knocking at the doors, saying that, "Oh, king, there is some problem. You're actually into a trap." But the king still doesn't listen, and he gets lost by the beauty of these Vishakanyas, and they lose their entire kingdom. So the heroes become zeros in this way. So there are, as I mentioned, there are so many pastimes which are actually mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam about how the lust actually conquers one. There is a repeated verse in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, especially in Canto 10, chapter number 51 and verse number 51, which emphasizes on the word Krida Mrigaha. And it says, "I have become a play toy in the hand of a woman." As the sloka says, "Nirjitya dik chakram abhuta vigraho varasanasta samaraja vanditaha grihesu maitunya sukesu yoshitam krida mriga purusha ishaniyate." And as the translation, it says, "Having conquered the entire circle of directions and being thus free of conflict, a man sits on the splendid throne, receiving praises from the leaders who were once his equals. But once he enters the women's chambers, where sex pleasure is found, he is led about like a pet animal." That is the translation which is shared in this in relation to these words. So very graphically, Muchukunda is sharing that the whole world is thinking he is the king, but the queen knows who is the king because he has to bow down to the queen, but the senses have become enslaved by the lust. So, we have been thinking, so who is the hero, right? All the material heroes are actually enslaved by Maya because they're enslaved by the lust. And anyone who wants to impress the world and have more followers to say, "I am the hero," that is basically talking Purusha Bhav. And when he wants to take the Purusha Bhav, there has to be Prakriti, right? So he wants the Prakriti in the form of wife, children, and everything. But the problem is he himself is Prakriti and he cannot be Purusha, who is trying to artificially be Purusha. Actually, Purusha is the one who is self-satisfied, Atma Rama. Krishna is the Atma Rama, the Lord Rama is like that. So he does not need anything else because they're Atma Rama, they're self-satisfied. From the Jiva, But the jiva, when he serves the Purusha, he becomes satisfied. So the jiva becomes satisfied when he is actually serving the Supreme Lord. So the jiva is dependent on the Lord. But this artificial Purusha, like, the foolish Purushas, is trying to get Prakriti to satisfy him. That means he is already insecure about his own satisfaction, which means he cannot be satisfied without others. So actually, to the degree a leader is requiring the subordinates to give him praises, or he tries to impress them, he is taking the shelter of that subordinates. But the Lord is not like that, right? Who is the Atmaram, and the Jivas get attracted to him because he is so pure. He is so pure that he is not even attracted to the queens of Dwaraka also, but instead they are trying to attract Krishna with their beautiful glances. But he is attracted to their seva bhav. So one should know that all the jivas in this world can never become leaders. The actual leader is the one who is the sincere follower of the Supreme Lord. So this is also mentioned in Ila Gita. There are a couple of verses in Ila Gita, in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, 26, chapter number 26, verse number 12, and also verse number 13. I'll just read the translations because they are very much in relation to these words. There it says, let me get that. Okay, so it says in the translation, what is the use of a big education or the practice of austerities and renunciation? And what is the use of studying religious scriptures, of living in solitude and silence, if, after all, that one's mind is stolen by a woman? And the purport, it says, it's a very short purport. I just read. All of the above mentioned processes are useless if one's heart and mind are stolen by an insignificant woman. One who hankers after a woman's association certainly spoils his spiritual progress. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that if one worships the example of the liberated gopis of Vrindavana who accepted Lord Sri Krishna as their paramour, one can free one's mental activities from the contamination of the lust. And in the verse number 13, it is also very short words where it says in the translation, "To hell with me, I am such a fool that I don't even know what was good for me. Although I arrogantly thought I was highly intelligent, although I achieved the exalted position of a lord, I allowed myself to be conquered by a woman as if I were a bullock or a jackass." And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, all the fools of this world consider themselves very wise scholars, even though intoxicated by sense gratification and maddened by their lust for women's association. They become just like bullocks and jackasses. By the mercy of a saintly spiritual master, this lusty propensity can gradually be removed, and one can understand the terrible compatible nature of the material sense gratification. In this verse, King Puruvara is coming to the senses in Krishna consciousness. Okay, that is actually mentioned in this verse, which is very much in relation. So what I meant to say is these statements actually make us humbled. So the craving is so strong, but the jiva should understand that there is something that I have to work upon. And it is said that even an intelligent mind is stolen with this lust, as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsan. So as we know here, Agnidra was doing dhyana on Lord Brahmaji, and he sees Purvachiti and he gets lost. So actually, when one does dhyana over lusty object, he gets captured. So we should be able to withdraw our senses from it, so that then we become peaceful. And the other important classic example, which is also mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, is about Saubramani. So Saubramani did not fell for lust. Actually, he fell prey to Vaishnava offense. So sometimes when someone is falling prey to lust, one may not know that he is actually fallen prey to the offenses earlier that he might have committed against the Vaishnavas, because that can lead to lust becoming so strong that even though he is giving Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class, sitting on a Vyasas, and he would still be prey to lust. So one should know that offenses are more dangerous. Even I was actually talking to one of the senior Vaishnava, where he asked me, like, why do you think people in the early stages of Bhakti Vriksha, they are so excited, but after reaching a certain point, they won't get the taste of Bhakti, or they don't get the taste of even chanting or reading. So the answer I was told is the same, that they do Vaishnava Aparadh. So when they do Vaishnava Aparadh, it immediately reflects in their own sadhana. That could be reading or chanting. They don't get the taste of the chanting. They don't get the taste of practicing sadhana anymore. And they have so many things which are coming into their mind just because they have committed that Vaishnava Aparadh. And as I mentioned, Vaishnava Aparadh is so strong, so we should be very, very careful. And after talking about the Purusha Bhav, the perverted Purusha Bhav, we can now understand like how we can actually get over this embarrassment of thinking that I am Purusha, which is a practical application for us to do on a daily basis. So one easy way is to engage ourselves in the service of the most merciful Sri Sri Gauranitai, because we are looking for Premaras through the Sevaras. And the more we experience the joy of being Prakriti by engaging in the service of Purusha, then we feel satisfied. And as we become satisfied with our love, our lust will go away. So it is a very powerful benediction of Bhakti Yoga where we get to experience this. Because whether it be Jnanis or Yogis, they try to conquer this, but they are unable to do so. I heard a beautiful example narrated by His Grace Radhesham Prabhuji, which was actually given by His Holiness Bhakti Sridhara Maharaj. One time, the example is very applicable as well, very related to these words. So one time, one tiger was trying to chase a cow, and then both the cow and the tiger actually fell into the quicksand puddle. Now the situation is both the cow and the tiger, they both are in trouble, because as we know from the quicksand, the more we try to get out, the more they will go down. So the tiger was growling over the cow, but he cannot do anything because he's also trapped. Then the cow, she calls out for her master, who then immediately comes to the rescue and pulls her out of the quicksand, while the tiger dies growling in the quicksand. So the story is very simple, as we can see. It's very simple story, but the reflection is very strong. It is very profound. So the Gyanis, they don't want to take the shelter of the master. They simply wanted to take the position of the hero, and they die in this material world with a miserable death, as they cannot conquer Maya. Saubra was trying to do tapasya under the water, and when he saw the two fishes coming together, he gets agitated with his senses and he gets married. So in the current world, especially the country where we are living in, we don't have to go and see the fishes, because we can see those things happening everywhere, literally everywhere. And it is hard to refrain or restrain ourselves. So what is the hope for the devotee, especially being in such kind of a polluted environment? So the devotee's hope is that he has taken the shelter of the Supreme Lord, and the sense of belongingness the devotee has, that gives him the sweetness of bhakti. So while the Jnani fellow is not getting any kind of sweetness of bhakti, he's only experiencing that this is a dangerous world and he has to get out of this world like neti neti. So the devotee becomes attached to his spiritual master and to Krishna, and that gives him the Prakriti Bhav to taste. So what is Prakriti Bhav for a Jnani? There is nothing like Prakriti Bhav for Jnani, because he has not even accepted the Purusha. So it is said that because he has forsaken the lotus feet of the Lord, he cannot get any satisfaction or taste. And while someone who is attached to the lotus feet, we are talking from the devotee point of view, which is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 6.136. It says, Krishna pada padma ganda yeyi jana paya, Brahma loka adi sukha tanre nahi bhaya. So one who experiences the fragrance of the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna does not value even the happiness available in Brahma loka, the topmost planet, and what to speak of the heavenly happiness. So one should know that they should get attached to the great souls in order to get closer to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and giving up this mentality of the Purusha Bhav. And we see so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada who were caught in that kind of situations. But because they became attached to Srila Prabhupada, they could get elevated beyond this cycle of birth and death into the sweetness of bhakti. So we know this is a Sankirtana moment, which is very powerful. It is also said that when you do Sankirtana, for example, maybe you dance in Guru Puja, maybe you participate in Wednesday Kirtans as arranged by Lakshmi Mataji in the temple, or we go to the Harinam and we do such things. So when we do such things, the Panchatattva comes and dances. And as the Panchatattva is dancing, the Bhoga Vritti, which is the Bija, gets finished and finished down in the Sankirtana fire. Hence, one should become a real spiritual hero, not the material hero. Otherwise, even as a devotee of Krishna, when one tries to become a material hero to impress others, he will still be enslaved by the Maya. So one should always abide by the principle of servant of Guru and Krishna. When we think of even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the most merciful, right? Lord Chaitanya took sannyasa. The Purusha taking sannyasa is much different to any devotees who is taking the brahmacharya or sannyasi. No offense to them, but I'm just trying to share an example how the Lord is actually trying to be so merciful, because he is the enjoyer, but he has taken the role of Prakriti, and he's taking sannyasa and renouncing the entire entire world. So Lord has shaved his head to attract the jivas to the lotus feet of Krishna. So the Purusha is ready to become a sannyasi who is the real enjoyer. So that the living entities can understand their dharma. And one should know that the Lord is also ready to take such role to see and remember where the real joy of life is. And to conclude, we can pray to the Lord by walking the journey laid down by the great souls in the Bhakti Yoga program. We experience the bliss which Jiva rightfully can claim, provided he does his homework properly, which is cleaning of his chitta. So I seek the blessing that I also walk in the journey with all of you. And our hope is not our sadhana, but it is the mercy of the Lord, right? So because we are doing our sadhana, we cannot say that I deserve everything. Basically, our sadhana is an expression of begging to the Lord, and we are not here to prove that I deserve because I did so many rounds, I did so much of seva and all. Basically, we are asking for his mercy through the sadhana. So on the same note, one time a devotee asked His Grace Jananivas Prabhuji, saying, Prabhuji, I thought I have so much lust before coming into Krishna consciousness. But after coming to Krishna consciousness, I see there is so much lust. And when I start cleaning, I say there is more lust, which is never ending. And I don't know how much more is remaining. So when will I get free of this lust? I'm sure like all the devotees have this, right? Lust is so strong, even though we try to clear, there is so much lust, there is so much lust. And Prabhuji said, he simply said, it's again the profound statements by all these exalted personalities. He said, simply endeavor to please Guru and Gauranga and give your life and soul for this purpose. And at the end of your life, Lord Gauranga will come with the broom to clean everything which is pending in your heart and take you back to the Godhead. So we know that we are completely submerged and drowning in this ocean, and the only hope is the mercy of the Lord. So we should do our part sincerely, that our sadhana, with the expression of our sadhana, and then ask for the mercy of the Lord. So the key points from this class is the king Agnidra has performed tapasya, but his goal was material, obtaining a wife and children. So the Bhagavatam shows that the austerity can be performed for different motives. When the austerity is aimed at sense gratification, the result remains within this material world. But when the austerity is aimed at pleasing Krishna, it leads to liberation and pure devotion. So the teaching point I understood from these words is our spiritual practices should gradually become free from the selfish motivations. And bhakti is not merely meant to improve our material life, it is meant to awaken our love for Godhead. So the quality of our desires of our life. When our desires are centered on Krishna, even ordinary activities become spiritual. Right? So the Lord may give us what we desire, because the Lord is so merciful. He might give us everything what we desire. But Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam teaches us what to desire, which will bring us closer to Krishna. Thank you so much. With that, I would like to end the class, and I seek all your blessings. Hare Krishna. If you have any comments, feedbacks, corrections, please do so. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sadananda, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful class. And I was just a bit inattentive in between. The reason is that I had to get Kartika ready for school because Barsana had gone today for that Lord Mayor's thing. So sorry, Prabhuji.
That's okay, Mataji.
Inattentiveness is not good, but you know what I gather from this class is the main thing is that you said about what was that, Jnani was Prabhu, or who was that? He said
Janani was
simply,
Prabhuji. Yes,
yes,
yes.
simply endeavor to please Guru and Garanga, and that's what we have been right from Krishna conscious thing, is that we don't know how to please Krishna, but at the same time we actually know how to please Guru, because Guru and Garanga, they have given us instruction. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us these instructions. So all these things, if we please Guru and Garanga, then of course the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He is also pleased with us. Another thing which is that actually lust is not just attraction towards the woman. All our desires which are lusty, even get whatever maximum what we can get from this material world in the form of all the things around us, our house, our cars, our family, they are all lusty desire, because they are not for the Lord. Like gopis of Vrindavan, their desire was to just see that Krishna is pleased, and that was their desire. Their desire was not to get this and get that, but only to please Krishna. Even they were helping the devotee who is serving more to Krishna. So it's not like a sort of some people are feeling that jealous, that the gopi is this gopi is doing more, and they want to do more, but it's not a jealousy actually, and it gives them some sort of thing to how we can please Krishna more. So yeah, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very nice class. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you very much. And we have to remember not to do the Vaishnava Aparadh. Sorry, I have done a bit of Vaishnava Aparadh with my inattentiveness in the class. So please excuse me. It was not in my hands. Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Thanks for sharing such valuable points. Yes, Vaishnava Aparadh is very hard to control, but we are trying our best to avoid any Vaishnava Aparadh as well, because it could lead to so many things. Even the taste of our bhakti will be ruined. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much for class, Prabhuji. That was really, really nice. And you made so many good points. And a little bit like Kadambini Mataji, I was trying to work out what was going wrong with our sound, so I couldn't write many notes. But what I did appreciate from your class, Prabhuji, was how you illuminated a little bit about how sometimes we can feel a bit of shame, and a little bit of embarrassment. And it's really good to know that some of that is actually coming from Super Soul. Super Soul can be a little bit ashamed if we do bad things. So it's good for us to recognize when we have those feelings and try and rectify a little bit. And how do we do that? Again, just through purification, through chanting, through doing devotional service. Any kind of devotional activity will help us with that. When those little tinges of shame or embarrassment come, that the response for the devotee is one of engage in devotional service. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for that valuable point as well. Yes, as we know, Krishna is Anumanta and Upadrishta. So being a loving father, he wants to actually give what we desire for But as I mentioned towards the end, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam helps us to understand our desires, which can direct us to the Supreme Lord. So we have to make the right desires so that we can lead our life in the right direction. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to share any other realizations or points? No? Okay. Thank you so much for your valuable time this morning. And I'm really sorry for the sound, issues. I was actually trying to concentrate as much as I can. I
Oh,
thought of
sorry,
wearing...
Prabhu.
No, it's
I'm
not.
so
It's
sorry.
not your problem, Mataji. I was trying to wear headphones as well because I could hear what I'm saying. And I'm like, okay, two people talking at the same time. So with that, I would end. And thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu vyavascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo
Vaishnav Namo Namah.
Nandara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai,
Ki
Ananta
jai.
Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Ki
Hare
jai. His
Krishna.
Grace Sadananda Das Prabhu Ji ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. All glories to
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Hare